What's up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys either like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, y'all. So as gig workers, we are constantly having a battle with pay. If you're doing on-demand delivery apps like DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Spark, Instacart, all of those on-demand delivery apps. You know, we're already fighting that battle trying to make sure we're getting orders that are worth it, worth our time, worth driving who knows how many miles, right? And while we're waiting on those orders to come through, we're wasting a lot of time just sitting there, waiting, hoping that we get a good enough order to justify taking it, right? You know, you're hoping that you can hit your goals in a decent amount of time and that you're not gonna have to put in a couple extra hours that night just to hit your goal of 100, 150, 200 bucks for the day. But luckily, you don't have to do that anymore. Gig work has evolved and we have a plethora of apps that you can choose from. We have a lot of different ways where you can get guaranteed pay. And a lot of these are gonna be pre-scheduled orders. So you're not gonna have to turn on an app, sit in your car, just waiting and waiting and waiting and just letting your car run, wasting gas, hoping for an order to come through. So today we're gonna talk about 5 different delivery apps that will pay you guaranteed money. So starting off with app number 1, Amazon Flex. So Amazon Flex is primarily known for its package delivery, but you do have the opportunity to do retail deliveries and grocery deliveries from Whole Foods and Amazon Fresh stores. Now, to get orders, you're gonna select from a list of blocks that they have available. So they can be anywhere from an hour all the way up to 5 hours long. And it's gonna indicate the pay that you're gonna receive for that order. And these blocks, they can be picked up same day, the next day, and in some cases, you can pick these up a few days in advance. So you can honestly schedule your entire week out if you really wanted to. Now, the main downside to doing Flex is they don't give you your route until you actually get to the pickup location. So you can be anywhere within a couple miles of that location or be sent out 30, 40 plus miles away from the pickup. But regardless of where they send you, you're going to receive that pay that was indicated on that block, guaranteed every single time. So if you happen to complete your block an hour early, you still receive that full pay. You have to return something to that warehouse or to the grocery store for whatever reason, you still get that full pay. And the best case scenario that can happen is you go to the pickup location and they do not have any routes available for you, and they send you home after 15 minutes. You will still receive that full pay, guaranteed. You came there to do a 3-hour block, they didn't have anything for you, well, you get to go home with extra $50, $60, right? It's guaranteed pay no matter what. Now, Flex advertises that you can make anywhere between $18 to $25 an hour for these blocks. Honestly, for base pay, you're probably gonna be looking more towards that $18 an hour, but Amazon does do right by you sometimes, and you can have the opportunity to get surge pay. Pretty much surge pay is when Amazon is in desperate need of drivers and they decide to raise the pay for the blocks. So you can easily get some blocks that are paying about $30 an hour, if not more. Now, moving on to app number 2, Shipped. Now, when people hear Shipped, they might think of the grocery delivery service, but they actually have another delivery service on their platform, and that's actually delivering packages from Target. Now, you're not going to be doing package delivery from Target stores directly. They actually have a designated warehouse. It's called a sortation center, and that's where you go to pick up your packages. Now, depending on your market, it's going to vary as far as how many of these stations that you have in your area. My market, I only got 2 sortation centers, and unfortunately, because of this, I've actually only done 1 shipped delivery. And it's just because literally this sortation center is like 20 miles away from my normal area where I typically do deliveries. Honestly, the main reason I did that delivery in the first place was because I had to pass by that warehouse. So I figured I would go ahead and see if there were any routes that were actually going to be going in the same direction that I needed to go. And lo and behold, there was a route that matched perfectly. So that's going to be one difference between Shipt and Amazon Flex. They pretty much both operate the same in the sense of you pick up a block that you want to work. Here's the time frame that you're going to work. Here's your pay, and you get all that information up front, right? But Shipt goes a step further and actually gives you that route up front for you to see. It's going to show you every single address that you're going to have to go. It's going to give you a predetermined route, and yeah, you can see all of that up front. So based off of that information, you can go ahead and decide whether or not, you know, that route is actually worth it for you based off of where you're going to have to go, the pay that you're going to have to get, and how many packages you're going to have to deliver as well. Pay is also going to be similar. You're going to be averaging about $18 an hour. In some cases, I have seen some orders going as high as $25 an hour, sometimes even more than that. It just kind of depends on how many stops you have, how big the packages are, and a handful of things as far as them determining, you know, what the pay should be for that route. But overall, I do think it's still a pretty good app. Now, the other thing to note about Shipt, it doesn't look like they're gonna allow you to go between the package delivery portion of Shipt and the grocery shopping and delivery. I had actually reached out to them because I wanted to see if I could do the grocery delivery since the sortation center was kind of out of my way, and I didn't think that I was gonna actually come back to the platform. So I said, hey, you know, how do I get signed up for the grocery delivery? Because when I go to sign up, it says I already have an account, and that account is with the package delivery, right? And unfortunately, they told me there was no way to actually switch between the two. Whatever you signed up for is whatever you signed up for. They claim that it's going to be something they're going to look into in the future, but that was about probably 6 months or so ago. So I don't know if that's going to happen. So if you are someone who is currently signed up to do grocery delivery on Shipt, there's a good chance that you will not be able to do the package delivery portion, at least until they figure out a way to allow you to switch between the platforms. So just FYI. All right, moving on to app number 3, Roie. Now, I know there's probably some folks that have been watching me for a while and they're like, look, Toya, I'm gonna need you to let Roie go. Roie is not it. You know, just hear me out. You know, this is going to be for those folks who may not have heard of Roie. So I'm mainly going to be talking about Roie blocks. But before I get into that, let me just explain to, like I said, the new folks who may not know what Roie is. So Roie is an on-demand delivery service app that allows you to pick up and deliver merchandise from various retail stores. We're talking Walmart, Home Depot, pharmacy orders, auto shops, even some flower deliveries. Really anything that you could think of retail related, they have it. So the way the platform works is if you see an offer that you like, you just select it. You can see all the details about it. It gives you everything you need to know, where you're going to have to go, the mileage, pay, all of that, right? So if you see an offer you like, you put in an offer. So putting in an offer doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're actually going to get the order. So it works in a sense that, you know, it gives everybody an opportunity. But like I said, since it's not first come, first serve, so there's really no guarantee that you're going to go ahead and actually get that order if you put that offer in. But a general rule is the more offers you put in, the more likely you are to actually get an order assigned to you. So that's the basics of Roie, right? Now, something new that came to my market probably about 4 months ago or so. This has actually been out for a bit. Roie blocks, I first heard about Roie blocks probably sometime over the summer, a little bit before the summer last year actually. But like I said, it didn't come to my market until just a few months ago. So Roie blocks works very, very similarly to Flex and Shipt when it comes to picking up a time block that you want to work. Okay, so let's just say you see like a 4 or 5 hour block, right? And it shows you this is going to be your guaranteed pay for that block. So there's not going to be like a set route or anything like that. But what they're going to show is a zone. And according to Roie, because personally I have not done Roie blocks yet. I've worked on Roie, but I haven't done Roie blocks specifically. But they say you're going to work in that zone that's indicated for that block. So anywhere within that radius, that's where you're going to be completing the orders, right? So what that guarantee pay means as far as what they're advertising is if you complete your, say you completed your 4 or 5 hour block, right? And you end up earning less than what the guaranteed pay was for that block. And that does exclude tips. So tips are separate, and that's just on top of what you're earning, right? Whatever that difference is of what you didn't earn in comparison to what the guarantee was, Roie will pay you that difference. And if you happen to make more than what the guaranteed pay was, you just get to keep that extra money. That's just extra on top. It's all guaranteed pay regardless. So if you make more, cool, you got more. But if you made less, well, you're guaranteed to still at least make this. So yeah, I know a lot of people don't really necessarily like Roie. I haven't touched it in quite some time because the pay has dropped a bit and just that whole offer system is kind of So I definitely do see that there's a lot of work around here, but as far as it being worth it, you know, that's kind of up for you to decide. And depending on where your market is, you know, it may operate a little bit better, but just have to throw that out there just in case. And if Roie Blocks isn't in your area, you know, you can just try to work the normal app and, you know, hopefully you can have some success there. All right, moving on to app number 4, Delivered. Delivered has been so great to me, y'all. We're stepping into the catering realm now. So catering is on a whole different level when it comes to pay. Out of this entire list that I gave you, catering is going to take you the least amount of time, and you could probably make the same amount of money that you would on a Flex, Shipt, or Roie Block, and you could probably make it in about 30 minutes instead of 3-4 hours, however long it takes you to complete one of those blocks. But you do have to earn that status to be able to get those types of orders, okay? Baby steps, baby steps. So with catering, like I said, it can be very lucrative once you start to get your status up there. But even with the smaller orders, after a while, you know, order after order after order, you can make a decent amount of money even off of those minimum pay orders. So Delivery does right by its drivers, and they guarantee you to be paid a minimum. The least amount that you can get paid on that platform is $20. Most of these orders take on average about 30 minutes to complete from pickup to delivery. Catering is very, very simple. It's honestly just a scaled up food delivery order with 1 or 2 extra steps, right? So the only thing you have to do, you go to the restaurant, hey, I have an easy cater order, give them the order number if they need it, pack up the food. And when you're first starting off, most of the orders they're gonna give you, they're gonna be on the smaller side, so you're not gonna need too much crazy equipment. You know, maybe 1 or 2 catering bags will get you by. You go to the delivery location and you do 1 or 2 things. Sometimes they might just want you to drop it off, hand it off to somebody, you take a picture, and then you're done. But in most cases, you are expected to do a simple setup, nothing too crazy. You're just gonna do a basic buffet type of setup if you can, because sometimes those spaces that you're working with are kind of small, so do the best that you can. But you're not gonna come in contact with any of the food. You're not gonna take off any lids on the food or anything like that. You're just kind of setting everything up, taking stuff out of the bag, and just kind of laying everything out in a nice, neat spread. You'll take that picture and that's it. You're done. Usually setup, if it's a very, very small order, it might only take you 5 minutes, if that long. So yeah, they're super simple, super easy. And like I said, you can make quite a bit of money in a short amount of time. Now, as you start to get more experience, you'll be able to get larger orders, and with larger orders means more pay. All right, y'all. And the last app we're gonna talk about today, app number 5, that is gonna be Deliver That. So Deliver That is another catering app. Now, Delivered, I've been on Deliver for almost a year now, actually. Deliver That, I just got on that platform just a couple months ago, so I'm still pretty new to it, but everything's pretty much the same with the exception of just a couple different things. So for pickup, for instance, you know, Delivered, you just pick up the food and you mark that you've picked it up, but on Deliver That, you actually have to get a signature from the restaurant, and that's just them agreeing that they gave you everything that you needed for that order. Now, delivery is exactly the same. You either have to go set up the food or you can drop it off to whoever you need to drop it off to. Then you take the picture and you're done. Now, the major difference between these two apps is gonna be the types of orders that you can be sent. So Delivered sends you Easy Cater orders, and Easy Cater is the actual catering platform that sends the orders to Delivered to actually issue out to drivers. Now, Deliver That also uses Easy Cater, but they also use Olo, and they also get orders direct from the restaurant. Now, why do I mention these differences? Well, these differences with the platforms, they actually have a lot to do with how much pay you're actually going to be receiving, and that's going to be the pay from the tip. Now, for delivered, like I mentioned before, they're going to go ahead and cover that tip, so you get at least a $20 payout on those smaller scaled orders. And after that, anything more than that, you keep 100% of the tip. Now, for deliver that, those same Easy Cater orders, they actually have the tips go into a tip pool. So pretty much what happens with the tip pool is all of those Easy Cater orders, all of the tips, they're put into this pot and they're split evenly amongst all of the orders. So everybody's going to receive the same tip amount, no matter how big or how small that order was, if it's an Easy Cater order. Now, if you have an Olo or an order direct from the restaurant, you're going to receive 100% of that tip. But if they don't tip at all, you just don't get a tip. You're just going to get your delivery commission. But regardless of the differences of the tips or anything like that between both Deliver That and Delivered, all of this pay is still going to be guaranteed no matter what. So whatever offer you're getting, if you accept it, whatever's set in stone at the time of pickup and delivery, that's what you're going to be getting paid. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, like I mentioned before, I have had the opportunity to work on all of these apps, and I actually have more in-depth videos on each of these platforms as far as how to sign up, other things to expect, and of course the pros and the cons of each of these apps. Now, there is one app that I do not have thorough videos on, and that is going to be Shipped, and that's because I've only done that one order, and that's not really enough for me to go ahead and break down the app in its entirety, because I just don't have that much experience with the app for me to, go into detail like that. But if you guys want some additional information on any of the apps that I mentioned, make sure you check out any of the videos that I have on my channel in relation to any of these apps. And of course, if you wanted to see a start to finish on what to expect for pickup and delivery, I have various videos on each of these apps. I do have playlists for each of them. So if you want to see Amazon, how that operates, go to my Amazon deliveries playlist. If you want to see more delivered, go to my delivered deliveries playlist. So I have playlists for every single app, and like I said, you can see everything from start to finish. Yeah, make sure you go ahead and get up on these apps and change your life. Go ahead and switch some things around, get you some more money. Like I said, guaranteed money. Stop wasting gas. You got to get on these apps, give them a try. I would love to hear from you guys as far as what you guys thought about these apps. Is there any additional information you would like to add, or are there any other apps that you would recommend that either I can try or other viewers can try? So yeah, if you have anything else to add, just let me know in the comments. Now, before I go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.